There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Hi everybody, this is Sean Fangirl here at New York Comic Con with Steven Strait. We're talking about Expanse today. Tell us a little bit about your character.
I play James Holden, who is a second officer and an ice hauler in the Expanse. And an ice hauler is kind of the modern day equivalent of an oil tanker. It's a very kind of rough, not fancy, utilitarian kind of life out in the middle of nowhere. And Jim mines ice, and he comes across this distress call, and through a very simple altruistic act of answering it, he gets kind of wrapped into this enormous conspiracy that has the kind of potential to change humanity as we know it, and kind of inadvertently becomes a revolutionary in the face of this socio-political tension around the solar system. And Jim, especially when you first meet him, he's a little arrogant. He hates authority. He's constantly running from anyone he's got to answer to, and every step of the way he's got to grow a bit and step up to the plate. And such a fun character to play because the colors are so different. From when you meet him from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, he's a very different guy. So blessed, super fun.
We are talking to Florence Favor from The Expanse. Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
So I play Julie Mao. Julie Mao is an earther. Comes from a privileged background, life of comfort and wealth. She eventually ends up leaving her life of comforts to fight for something that she ends up believing passionately in, the betterment of the people. She joins this group of activists called the OPA, the Outer Planets Alliance, and she eventually sets out, she gathers up a crew and sets up into space on a ship, and they discover something on the Anubis, on this ship, that ends up changing the fate of humanity forever.
A little hard to talk about without giving it away.
Yeah.
And finally, do you think that the way everything's portrayed in the series is what humanity will be like 200 years in the future?
It's actually interesting. It's really nice to have seen what they've done with the show, with the books, from the books, but it's just made you realize that, and this is what they've also been very adamant about, staying grounded to life as we know it 200 years from now. So we've just set out, we've built colonies right outside Mars and the surrounding planets, and you come to realize that it's not that different from what we know. We're still dealing with the same problems, and we're still fighting for the same reasons, and space and land and property. And our show is very much more about relationships and love.
I'm talking to Cass Anvar from Expanse. Tell us a little bit about why you're part of this project.
Why I'm part of this project? Because it is absolutely awesome. This is kind of a geek boy's wet dream to be part of this show. This is it's an unbelievable science fiction world to be part of. The creative team that we're allowed to work with is phenomenal. We're working with the material from James S.A. Corey, which is Ty Frank and Daniel Abrams, who created this series of novels. They've been bestsellers on the New York Times bestselling list for about 5 years now. So that's the base of what we're working with, and that's already amazing. Then you add, Thomas Jane and Shore Agdashlu and Stephen Strait, Florence Favre, Wes Chatham, Dominic Tipper, and all the amazing guest stars that we have. And then you put these incredible artisans like the writers of Iron Man 1 and Children of Men, Mark Fergus and Hawk Odsby, and Narain Shankar, an incredible showrunner. We've got a real A-list team, and basically it's like we're being shown Wonderland and just asked to play. And then to get to play the character that I play, which is Alex Kamal. He's a Mars-born, East Indian descended Pakistani fighter pilot with a Texas accent. So for an actor like me, who you don't get offered roles like that every day, and he's got a kind of a wild, crazy sense of humor. He's always handling stressful situations with some great Southern witticisms and things like that, and he gets to be a fighter pilot. Like, how much more can a guy ask for?
You get to be super cool and a Martian.
And a Martian. Yeah. So I'm working on the Martian voice. He's like, "You are making me very angry," but. Other than that, everything's going really well.
One more question.
Sure.
Do you think
There's
this
no
is?
Kermit the Frog.
Do you think that's what life is going to be like in 200 years?
You know what? Of all the science fiction that I've seen, The Expanse really captures the kind of dangerous, grungy, gritty, hostile realism. It's dangerously realistic, and I think it is definitely a path that we could follow. Absolutely. It uses the template of the world now and just projects it 300 years. So yeah, I think it totally could be going in this direction.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. You don't seem like you can play an arrogant person.
Oh, please. I got it in there someplace.
And we're doing such a bad job here. I'm having a moment. Sorry. Well, thank you for your time, and we'll be sure to watch it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You know where I'm going.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you, guys.